All right, today we are going to move on and we are going to complete Excel activity part 2. If you were absent last class period, you need to complete Excel activity part 1. You'll just click on the assignment, click on the video, and complete all the steps in the video that I do, but you'll do it in your own workbook or worksheet or spreadsheet. Also, if you didn't finish, you need to make sure you finish Excel activity part 1 before you move on to part 2. So part 2, we're working off the same workbook or spreadsheet that we completed last class. So to do that, we're going to make sure OneDrive's connected down in the bottom right. We're going to go to File Explorer and click that to open it, and then click on our OneDrive. And what I want you to get in the habit of doing is clicking on Date Modified to bring the most recent up top. So here's my Thanksgiving dinner part 1. I'm going to double click it to open it. Now I noticed some of you with your part 1, you did not, after you finished typing in all of the information, you didn't go back to the video and finish formatting it. So if yours does not look like mine, you need to go back to Excel activity part 1 and complete it to make sure the title is bold, 14, margin centered, all of your little column headers are bold, center aligned, your numbers are center aligned, you applied all borders, and then total is right aligned and bold. Okay, so if you didn't finish that part, pause this video, go back and complete that part, please. All right, moving on for the part 2 of the Thanksgiving dinner, we are going to click in cell F3. So remember, a cell address is where the column and row intersect. If I click in it, it also shows me in the name box, this is cell F3. So for this, I'm going to type in total calories. Oh, sorry, it's lagging. So I'm going to type in total calories, press tab, and then I'm going to type in total fat, press tab, and then total carbs. All right, notice they are all cut off or running over to the next column. So I'm going to select all 3 of those cells and click wrap text. Calories, the little S is hanging on another line. So I'm going to just click in between F and G and drag it. All right, now we want to make sure that this new section we added matches the rest. So I'm going to click in my column headers. So F3, I'm going to click and hold and drag to H3. I'm going to bold and center line those titles of my columns. And then I'm going to select a cell range, which is a group of cells. So I'm going to click in F3 and I'm going to hold and I'm going to drag over to H and down to 16. So that's a cell range. And then all I'm going to do is go ahead and apply those borders again to that section. All right, so once you do that, we also need to fix our title because it stops at E1. So to do that, I'm going to just click back on my title, click merge and center to undo it. I'm going to go back to cell A1, hold, click and hold and drag over to H1 and click merge and center. So now it stretches across all of my information. All right, now what I want you to do is pause the video and you are going to go through each of these different foods and type in how many servings you would have of each, okay? You cannot leave all these at 0. So even if you really don't eat them, make it up. So for instance, if I had turkey at Thanksgiving, I'd probably get 1 scoop. So I'm gonna type in 1 serving. Ham, I'm gonna type in 1. Cornbread, I do not like, so I'm gonna type in 0. I'd probably have mashed potatoes, so that's 1. Sweet potatoes, I don't eat, so that is 0. Gravy, I'd probably have 1 on top of my potatoes. Roll, 1. Green bean casserole, I love, so 1. Macaroni and cheese, 1. Cranberry sauce, 0. Let's see, pumpkin pie, maybe I get 2 slices, so I'm going to do 2. And then pecan pie, 0. And whipped cream, I'd probably just do 2 scoops of whipped cream on each slice of pumpkin pie. All right, there you go. So pause the video and do that for me. Go ahead and type in all your number of servings. Remember, do not leave them all at 0. So at least pretend like you would eat some of this. All right, once you've typed in everything, now we're going to move on to simple formulas. We're going to calculate how many calories and fat and carbs we ate. So what we're going to do is we're going to click in cell C18. And we are going to click the auto sum button. So in the top on the home tab in the top right in the editing group, we're just going to click on that button. Okay, and it's going to select some data. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure it's only cell range C4 to C16. So I'm going to go C4 to C16. and I'm going to press enter. Okay, your total should be 2,104 because all of our calories are the same. We're going to click in cell C18 again, and we're going to use what's called the fill handle. So that little tiny square at the bottom right of the active cell, if you click, your cursor is going to change to a black plus sign. If you click and hold that, all we're going to do is we're going to drag that over to H18. Okay, so it auto-calculated the fat grams and the carb grams based on the formula we used. So in cell D18, your total should be 80. In cell E18, your total should be 261. If it's not, then one of these numbers you've entered in wrong. So double check that. All right, now we're going to click in cell F4, and we're going to type in a formula. We are going to type in equals. Every formula begins with an equal sign. C4 times A4, okay? So what that's going to do is it's going to calculate for us the number of servings we had and the calories for that turkey. So equals C4 times A4, press enter. Okay, and everybody's totals should be different depending on how many servings. Then I'm going to click back in F4 and use that fill handle to drag it all the way down again. Okay, now we're going to click in cell G4 and we're going to type in a formula equals. So we're going to type in the equal sign, D4 times A4. Okay, so now it's timesing the number of servings and the fat grams, and we're going to press enter. And then we're going to click back in G4, grab that fill handle, drag it all the way down. Now we're going to go into H4, okay, and we are going to type in the formula equals E4 times A4, and we're going to press enter. And then I'm going to click back in that cell, use the fill handle, and drag it all the way down. All right, now notice once we entered the data for total calories, total fat, total carbs, it automatically calculated the total for all based on all the foods we ate. All right, now we're going to do some final formatting. We're going to select cell range F4 to H18. So I'm going to go to F4 over to H and down to 18. And I'm going to center align those numbers. Okay, and then I'm going to go to A4 to A16, and I'm going to center align the number of servings I typed in. Then I'm going to go to F18, so F18, and I'm going to go over to H18, and I'm going to fill those yellow. So up here on the Home tab in the font group, that little paint bucket, you can click the arrow and choose different fill colors. I want you guys to fill it yellow. So if you were eating those foods, that would be your total calories, total fat, and total carbs based on the number of servings that you had of each food. All right, so now make sure that your spreadsheet looks just like mine. And then once you are finished and it looks good, we're going to save this. Okay, so we're going to save the changes. So we're just going to click the floppy disk and save it. And we're going to exit out. But then what I want you to do is I want you to learn how to rename a file. So you'd go back to File Explorer, go to your OneDrive. On that assignment, double click it. Oh, sorry, not double click it. Let me get out of there. Click on it and you've got this little rename button, or you can right click and choose rename here as well. And you're going to change it to Thanksgiving Dinner Part 2 and then click off of it. That way you know that you've completed it. So when you open it, you should see all of your information. Then you're going to go to Canvas to the assignment. Let me view as a student. And remember, you've got to save and exit it. If you don't exit, Canvas is going to think you're still working on it. Click the rocket ship. Go to your OneDrive. Click Date, Thanksgiving Dinner Part 2, open. And then once it loads, submit your assignment. Once you do that, you are going to staple Part 2 to the back of Part 1, turning it up front. All right, guys, good job.